Good morning, friends and teachers. This is Aman Gupta from Graphical University, Section G, BTech CS. And in this video, I will be telling about the course which I have took under the MOOC. I have taken the course Computer Science from Business Communication from the source edX. And this is a course from Harvard University, which is a very nice course in which I have learned many more things about computer science and various applications of it. And in this video, I will be discussing with you my experience and all. As we all know, so to speak, that computer don't understand human languages like English, Hindi, or other languages. They speak in machine language, which is in terms of binary. Why binary? Because the computer can only understand on, off, zero, and ones, which is electricity coming and not coming. And how do we get from zero to such complex level like alphabets, video, audio? And this is due to the previous generation of computer scientists. They worked on it and help us abstract from that level to a greater level, and now we are working to that level also. And this is how we give command to the computer in binaries. But in order to communicate, we use some programming languages to communicate. All programming languages are not necessary to be type based. There are certain programming languages which are not type based, such as Scratch and other languages. Scratch, thanks to MIT Scratch, which is a graphical based programming language in which spikes are used for making these things. And now you might be thinking that from binary, how did we reach to other levels, such as numbers and the alphabet, the text file. And so to speak, there is a term for ASCII. ASCII value you might have heard, American Standard Formation, in which decades ago people decided that why not assign 65 to the alphabet capital A, and which is accepted all over the world, and therefore which help us to communicate. And computer understands if the number is 65, it means alphabet A if it referring to text form. And you have also heard for RGB. And if you might think that all the videos and images, you have learned that they are made from tiny dots from red, blue, and green. They are stored in the form of RGB. If they are of each of 1 byte, R, G, and B, which means they can range from 0 to 255, which tells the intensity of each red, blue, and green. And with each, we can make a different color and almost all the colors which are required. The first screen display these things. And videos are images after images which are projected. You are seeing this video, and in this video there are images, lots of imaging coming each after each other in a very small time. Therefore, it seems to be continuous, and also along with attached with the audio files. This is how the abstraction works, and how we are from this basic level, from zeros and ones to this text, audio, and we are advancing more and more. Now I will be talking about the internet, how internet works. It's most common and we all use it, and in this lockdown period, it's just the only way to communicate to the outside world. And the internet is such as we communicate with one computer to another computer. The websites we visit are just computers or servers which are providing services to it. They are bigger computers which can save our data and give us a few data if we want required, like Google's the images which are present there. And it's all is which we get and which we give or save our data, which through a medium called internet. If this is our computer and server, and this is the network which is there, which is used to transfer data from this computer to this computer, is the internet. Now the how the internet works. If we are in this world, if we want to send some data from location A to location B, then we must know the address of the location A and B. And this address work in computer, there is a IP address. This IP address is a unique address for each computer. It is a hash dot hash dot hash dot hash. Hash is number between 0 to 255, which means each hash is of size 1 byte. And for 4 byte, we are getting 4 millions. But nowadays, computers are increasing day by day. And this is IP version 4. Now there is IP version 6, in which there are 6 hashes. And later there will be more advancement as far as the number of systems, computers are increasing day by day. And who assign us these IP address? This is DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, and this is the protocol which assign us the IP address of our own, and it's give us the IP address of DNS, the domain name server. If we all know that each website have its own IP address, then how do we communicate with it? If we don't know it IP address, we are using the domain names. But who converts this domain name for us? This is DNS, domain name server. years ago, people decided that it would be difficult for each one to remember the phone number like for every website they go. Therefore, this DNS help us in very much as DNS converts this domain name to their respectively IP address. Now there is TCP, Transmission Control Protocol. This protocol guarantees the high probability that the data which you are trying to set will be successfully sent. In this, the data is chunked down into small pieces, and each has the IP address to which it has to be sent, the IP address from which like in the letter we write from and to, it's writes the IP address from and to, and the type of data which is present in there, which is port number, port address, which identifies the type of data uh, present in it, and there it chunks down, but it has to be sent and then reattached. Therefore, it's give that such as this one I divided this mean a package. I divided into few pieces, and each pieces I would name at 1 or 4, 2 or 4, 3 or 4, 4 or 4, so that when they reaches, it can be build it all together and present this image or the data which you are trying to send. In case in the internet, it takes different paths, so the data can be sent as quickly as possible. In case some data get lost, which get lost due to as these routers gateways are hardware devices and they have limited RAM and memory. If they are overloaded or that there is no space memory in the RAM, it drops the files and expect that the user will resend it. And if I know that 3 out of 4, if I don't get 2 out of 4, I will get I got 1, I got 3, 4, I not got 2 out of 4. Therefore, it will ask the IP address to resend it 2 or 4, and therefore I would get the data. Therefore, it has the high probability. Now there is another UDP, user datagram protocol. It does not guarantee that the full data would, uh, would be sent. And you know that we are using it very frequently. Why we are using such a thing which does not guarantee that the data would be sent now? If you are watching live telecast, live vision, if you are talking video calling, live cricket, we do not want that if we lost some piece of information, we do not want that time is wasted to get back to the award. We want to be live. We want the actual situation instead of getting the high quality or better vision. We can use the human protocols. If you are talking to someone, can you repeat what you have said? I can't hear you. I can't listen to you. And human protocols work there. Therefore, it is not always required at the high probability. Therefore, this is also in use in these services. You have also heard of HTTPS, which is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and which is the most common we put after website. In this is sort of envelope which you put, and in this data comes and goes, and it generally contains HTML. HTML is the type of language, hypertext markup language. It is a format language, not an actual programming language. HTML and CSS. It is for front end. For this decoration, which you can see and where to write the heading, the title, the font, the color around. This is all done using HTML, and which is not indeed a programming language. But we have another processes also. If we go to a website, it converts images to PDF. There is some work going on backwards, backend, and which is done with another programming languages. Programming languages like Python, Java, C++, and each programming language has its unique feature, and why another can replace the other, because it has its special features, and there are always new programming languages coming and which you use for certain platform and not for others, because of this few features, and each language is getting advanced in few years. So it's for the engineers in which field they are interested and which language they choose to work with. And thank you, and this is all. Hope you understand, and you can also see the text. It will help you understand in a great way. Thank you.